Alrighty. Welcome again, everyone, to the Sound Goblin Saturday stream. Thank you for joining us today. I'm, as always, your host, the Krampus.
I'm Shiv.
And I'm Vincent.
Alright. And today, we have finished the Inquestining. And so, we are going to be doing a quick run over to Grand Cell to continue the main plot. But first, a couple things to note. Number one, Tita's in the party. She is very low level, but her slots have been upgraded. She's got full complement of level 4 orbments, and she is ready to get as many levels as we can pack into her before the boss fight where we need her for the additional dialogue.
Yeah, that's not for a bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, but we still need to start thinking about getting levels into her.
Also, side stream.
Oh, yes, that's true. Yeah, I always forget something. Anyway, while we're doing that, that also means that Joshua is going to be back to being our beat stick, along with the other beat sticks in the party. Share screen. Share the Legend of Heroes. Put out the call.
Caw-caw!
Oh, wait, no, we're not going to put out the call.
Caw-caw?
Hunter's doing an actual stream right now, and I do not want to, give a stream notice in his Discord.
You're streaming instead.
Hunter Green is friend of stream and not bitter rival of stream. So we will give basic human decency. And
Also, even if bitter rival, it takes some balls to
to do on their stream. Besides, I figure most of the people we'd be informing in his Discord are already followed to us, so they're notified when we go live.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you may notice that we have very little money.
Yes. As an aside, if you were subscribed to multiple streams, Hunters and ours included, the correct answer is to have both the streams running at the same time.
Yes.
Exactly.
The
So you spent
cacophony
all the
is
money
worth
is what I'm hearing.
Yes, I spent all our money. I spent all of our money on actual, item things and not frivolities. If I can remember.
Actual item things.
EP Charge 2s and Tier All Bombs. And a bunch of Celestial Bombs. Celestial Bombs being the full heals from KO. So, we have a lot of healing items going into the final fight, because we're not spending that money on anything else, really. I also went and bought food items.
Except for the fact you can actually buy stuff with your coming up.
Huh.
Which means we could upgrade everything to 4s if we had money.
We're already pretty much at 4s on mostly everyone. There's a couple of outliers here and there. I think Joshua has a Mind 3 on him still for some reason.
Useless. Fired.
But most everyone's sitting at level 4s. Also, I went and ate all of the small items that we no longer need because they're, the piddly health, and learned all the recipes for them. I made a bunch of Nirvana teas, which are 100% HP recovery, and 100 victory steak, and a bunch of the other food item stuff, because we had that. I also made a bunch of KO cures in case we need it. I don't know how difficult the final boss fights are going to be. It's very, very likely I'm just prepping us for a fight that's not actually going to be that hard. In which case, we'll pour Nirvana tea on a corpse.
I mean, the final boss, if you die during his fight, he's attack. If you die, you can't get res, so it really matters.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, so we have one piece of business before we actually go into the final thing.
Yes, we have to read all of our Gambler Jacks, because we'll have to turn them in short order.
Yep. So, before we actually go and continue the main story, while the world is in crisis, while all the orbs are shut down, and while Ouroboros is undoubtedly performing their evil plan somewhere,
It's time to read a novel!
it's time to read an entire series of novels. So I figure we're going to do this the same way we did it before, just round-robin readings.
Alright.
I'll start off. Then we can do Shiv
Take
and
it away.
then Vince.
Yeah.
Chapter 1. The Girl. The Calvard Republic. There's a city in this country, a place where migrants from the east have recreated their homeland down to the bright lacquered tiles. Nicknamed the Eastern Quarter, it's a vibrant place, bustling and hot. Orbital buses trundle down the main street, lined with stands of fragrant Eastern cooking, as the welcoming cries of sellers rise and fall over a crowd of travelers from every nation. The place where the cultures of East and West meet. Yes, it was a place that wore that mantle well. On the north outskirts of that town was a little run-down bar. Doubtless, it had been fashionable once, but now the plaster was crumbling and what doors left barely fit their pitted frames. Of course, such a seedy place attracted a clientele to match. To the lawless and violent, it was home. Heh, sorry, looks like my win again, said a low voice that echoed through the grimy room. The voice belonged to Jack. He was of medium size and in his early 30s, a man in his prime. The frayed shirt he wore had seen better days, but the accessories adorning his body were of obvious worth. None of them were right for a man like him. Just like the blue glint in his eyes. Compared to the dirty, poor, and desperate thugs around him, he looked out of place. Jack was always to be found at that bar gambling, or sharing around with the dregs of the town. Sometimes fighting, sometimes drinking. He passed his days in idle recreation. As usual, today found him hunched at the bar. He had been deep in his cup since early noon. It was the same as always. Another day just like any other was stretching out before him. And into that familiar scene cut the shriek of the door opening. A new customer stepped into that same old bar. But who was this new arrival? It was a girl, unlike any other he'd seen before. Which reminds me of that line from Monty Python. How do you know he's the king? He ain't got shit on him.
Shit all over him. Chapter 2. The Offer. The girl strode into the bar and closed the door without turning a riggy? Damn it, we're making up words again.
No, that's the substitute for inches.
Yeah, I know.
That's their
Yeah,
little
it's
tiny
annoying.
measurement.
There was no hesitation in her manner. It seemed her arrival was no accident. Her face was determined, but her confident entrance could not erase the lingering innocence of youth there. Even the best liar wouldn't try and claim she was more than 18. Dark brown eyes and hair suggested she was Eastern, but her nose and features made it hard to deter. The girl slowly walked forward. With each step, her cute little knees peeked out from under the trim of her skirt. Her outfit was a design without any sense of decoration. It seemed her taste lay more along the lines of utility than style. Maybe because the Eastern symbol necklace on her chest couldn't help but look. Maybe because of that, the Eastern symbol necklace on her chest couldn't help look equally unremarkable. I also can't read today. The lack of volume in that area. Probably also had something to do with that as well. It seemed there'd be some time before she really bloomed. An appearance bearing the signs of East and West both, and simple, unembellished clothes. The girl may have been the spirit of the Eastern Quarter made flesh. She caught the eye of one of the punks hanging about almost instantly. Hey, little girlie, he slurred. Want to have some fun with me? As he spoke, he grabbed the girl's wrist with one greasy hand. It happened in an instant. Her arm flew up, dislodging the punk's grip. Now freed, her hand disappeared deep into her skirt, then slid out with a mass of gleaming black iron. She pressed at the space between his eyes. He stared at the object for a moment before collapsing to his knees in fear. It was an orbital gun of cunning make, a high-caliber Verton Company model. If she'd had shot that firearm, that punk would have lost his head instead of his bladder. It was not your average self-defense weapon. It's the latest model, she purred. Want to see what it can do? She was cool and calm. The barrel of the gun didn't waver a bit. If she fired, her aim would be perfect. Overwhelmed by the girl, gun, or both, the punk couldn't move a muscle. Everyone else in the bar remained frozen as well. All eyes were on the girl. Hey, miss. Hate to ask, could you let him off of that? Maybe the speaker couldn't stand it anymore, or maybe it was disturbing his drink. The husky, sensual voice broke through the silence. It was Jack. Still planted firmly in his chair, breath smelling of liquor, he continued. I'm sure he's sorry, and he's learned his lesson. He shot the punk a meaningful look. As if to answer, the punk started nodding his head vigorously. I've come here to gamble, the girl said suddenly. She slowly lowered her gun in her left hand. Her expression remained cool and detached. Sounds good. Come on over here, give me everything you got. Jack's words had an immediate impact, not on the girl, but on the gathered goons and hoods. They all showed a glance, each and every one of them. Dirtiest grin you could imagine.
Chapter 3 Challenge at High Noon. Jack and the girl moved over to a table in the back. Unlike the other pitted and sticky furniture, the table was smooth and polished to a shine and seemed meant for gambling. Without a word, both took their seats. Jack sat against the wall and the girl faced him straight on. The other patrons were captivated. Helplessly fascinated by the match, they snuck glances at the pair, ears straining to listen in. The bar filled with fidgety silence. The girl's game of choice was poker. Jack accepted wordlessly. After a brief exchange to confirm the terms of the challenge, they settled on bets. It was to be 100 mira at hand, or roughly 400 Norwegian kronars. Not even enough to buy a beer. But Jack considered that fair for a match against a kid and said as much. The dealer was a small fry punk from before. Jack gave him a quick eye signal. First hand, both discarded just one card. Jack called and the girl stood. Jack had 2 pairs, the girl had just 1. Jack was the winner. Ah, sorry, little missy, he drawled. He raised his glass to her and downed the amber liquid in a single decisive gulp. Second hand. Both discarded just 1 card, perhaps trying to look confident. Jack let out a big, clear sigh. The girl called and Jack stood. The girl had 2 pairs, Jack had the same. But the cards told the tale. The girl's hand had the high card. It was the girl's win. What? Jack exclaimed. His hand that had been toying with the glass froze. Immediately, he glanced over at the punk who was dealing. The other man avoided his gaze. Something wrong? The girl asked. Her words were even, and her face betrayed nothing. No, forget it, he said. Had she swapped up the cards? The game suddenly took a new angle. The look on Jack's face changed instantly. Lightly clearing his throat, Jack put the glass back on the table with his left hand. Then, once more, he cleared his throat. The dealer, recognizing the signal, picked up the cards again. It was their code for deal normally next round. Third hand. As expected, each discarded just 1 card. Jack called, and the girl stood. Jack's hand was a full house. Aha, how about that? He crowed. With a flourish, Jack laid his cards on the table. The patrons snickered into their cups. The girl set down her own cards without a word. 4 sevens. This was the girl's win. The bar once again returned to silence.
Considering Jack's full house had 7s in it, this was questionable at the best. Something has gone drastically wrong with this poker game.
I have
Jack
a full
thought.
house. 3 7s and 2 7s. Wait a minute. Well, strange. I have a 4 of a kind with 7s and a high card of 7.
Let me see that deck. They're all 7s. You idiot. That's not how cheating works. Ultimately, it was the girl's win. Silence in the bar was punctuated only by the sounds of a raucous argument out in the street. Holding back the laughter bubbling up, now I can't read. Jack asked the girl a question. Hey, Missy, where, oh where did you learn to be this good? The girl made no reply. Instead, she took the cards into her hands and began shuffling. They flew back and forth with exquisite grace between her long fingers. She dealt 5 to Jack, then 5 to herself. Show them, she said. Jack turned over the cards. Jack's hand was 4 jacks. The girl's hand held 4 kings. Jack was rendered speechless when he saw the cards. Jack doesn't beat king, she said. At the word king, murmurs rippled through the bar. King. It was the handle of a legendary gambler, said to be the best in the Republic until his death. The card technique the girl had shown was one of the ones the king had been so...
Yeah,
and then slams to an end. Jack doesn't beat king, she said. Just, who are you? Who? Jack asked the girl. The girl gave him a long, cold look before speaking. You probably don't know me, but I know you very well, she said. Hello, Victory Jack. My name is Haley. I'm the daughter of King, who you killed. You're King's daughter?
Victory Jack.
Jack had never met King's daughter, not in person, no. And nonetheless, he did have memories of her. King had been a doting father that had drilled holes in Jack's ear with endless stories about her. I see. So King's daughter has come to kill me, huh? The atmosphere in the bar was suddenly charged. Alright then, kill me. The words casually leapt from Jack's mouth. It was a line no one in the bar would have ever expected. He tapped his chest. The heart's here. Make sure you aim well. The girl, Haley, quietly drew her orbital gun. Her aim, of course, was Jack's heart.
Chapter 5. The Invitation. Haley's finger sought out the trigger to his... first sentence. Haley's fingers sought out the trigger of her gun. There wasn't a man in the bar who could find the courage to stop her. The punks and hoods just cowered, whispering from the seats. Shut up, all ya! Jack shouted over the buzz. The chatter in the bar stilled. Grinding his back teeth, Jack looked straight in the girl's eyes. That's right, my goal is revenge, she said. But it won't mean anything like this. Haley lowered her gun. As Jack watched the barrel of the weapon slide away from his chest, confusion creased his face. Haley continued talking. Over these last 3 years, I've spent blood, sweat, and tears to learn to be as good as I am. With that, the girl threw a card in Jack's face. Some kind of invitation? I have a stage that's better suited to settling all this. Better suited to settling this already. We'll finish our match there, at that place. It'll be one of the poker matches that you love so dearly. The misery and bitterness that my father tasted. I'll make sure you eat your full share of that dish. And with that threat lingering in the air, Haley disappeared from the bar. Unable to grasp the meaning of the girl's words, Jack just sat there for a while. Finally, he picked up the card that had fallen onto the floor and read the text printed on it. Tomorrow night at 10, come to the harbor. Harbor, huh? It can't be. A sense of foreboding ran through the back of Jack's mind. As he was about to crush the card in his hand, a small signature on the back caught his eye. Enrique. The penmanship was familiar. It was also the name of a man Jack knew. Oh man, Jack's sense of foreboding would prove right.
I have a far better venue for our game. The Shadow Realm!
I have a far better venue, but in order to find it, first you must solve this series of puzzles.
Oh, for
I would love if Gambler Jack turned out to be Blue Blood.
Chapter 6. King. On the night after the day Hale visited, Jack headed to the harbor as the card instructed. In a rare show of sobriety, he hadn't had a drop of booze past the first 440s. He realized that at some point that he was being followed. On top of that, he knew it'd be someone acting on behalf of that man, Enrique. Don't worry, he yelled as he stopped and turned. I ain't gonna run or hide from this. No one answered. What a born fella. Turning back around, Jack continued on. That night was a dark one. No moonlight or stars pierced the cloud-shrouded sky. Jack only had the road lamps to go by as he walked alone through the empty streets. The grand match between him and King. As he walked, memories of it flooded back. His legendary skills had earned him a nickname to match, King. He had been Jack's teacher, and his greatest rival. 7 years ago, Jack and King had played the game of their lives. It was Jack who found himself the winner. Their game was used by the privileged in the underworld of the Republic to decide the outcome of a struggle for power because they're all dumb. King, forced to take responsibility for losing, was killed. Though indirect, it could not be denied that Jack's win had been King's ultimate loss, and we should certainly kill Jack and not the people who actually killed him. Around an hour after leaving the bar, he reached the harbor. The smell of refuse and brine wafted in the... Okay, I'm sorry for a second. The smell of refuse and brine wafted in on a warm breeze. An enormous boat was floating on the dark night sea just ahead, waves lapping quietly at its sides. Its hull was painted a solid black, making it almost impossible to see. It was the boat Jack and King had been on 7 years before. As Jack approached the gangway, he was met by a small silhouette from the shadows. Hail. Welcome, Victory Jack, she said. I really didn't think... Really, Victory Jack?
Victory Jack, 13th member of Ouroboros.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I really didn't think you would come all the way out here on your own 2 feet. Have to admit, you've got courage. ... Normally Jack might have had a joke or a comeback, but tonight alone, he was a different man. Glancing at Hale, he boarded the ship without a word. The light from the portal shone blue, glinting off his eyes as he passed. The sound of the steam whistle was swallowed by the lonely darkness, and slowly the ship slipped free from the harbor and out to sea because apparently we have steamboats.
Yeah.
I mean, fine.
Makes
it's just
sense,
that
yeah.
we haven't actually seen them. Practically everything seems to be...
Chapter 7, The
I
Banquet
presume-
of Darkness.
I mean, I presume the steamboats are still orbital powered. They probably use
Yeah.
orbits to actually produce steam.
Mm.
Yeah. It's probably just like an
That can
orbital
make
heating
sense.
element or something like that.
It's slowly just a fire orbital to just throw water on constantly.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
The ship was utterly silent as it cut through the velvety darkness of the night. In contrast to the stillness and inky black of the outside, one layer down, the ship's interior was filled with light and sound. Furnishings from every part of the continent adorned the walls, and a band of musicians played a cheery song. The orbital glow of a chandelier imported from Liberal shone down in every form of human desire. In the hall built into the center of the ship, guests laughed and chatted. They appeared to be the finest of ladies and gentlemen, but each and every one were part of the seedy Republican underworld. They were the type of folk that spoke of murder as easily as one would dinner or a fine wine. Their faces hadn't changed as much in 7 years. In the furthest depths of the hall, there was discreet seating for the highest ranked of the lot, and just like 7 years ago, there was a certain group of men there. One old man was flanked by several bodyguards. His name was Chief Minister Shamrock. He was the host of the party aboard the ship. A long white beard trailed down his chest. It was his symbol, and also the symbol of power. Though he retired several years before, he continued to serve in an advisory role to many organizations. Retirement had done nothing to slow his influence on the nation. He was a man well worthy of being called the monster of the underworld. Chief Minister Shamrock held this party once every year as a place for the powerful to meet and share useful information. Of course, there were many in the group who could hardly be called friendly in their attitude. 2 of such men were Enrique and Juan. Enrique, 7 years ago at this time, 7 years ago and this time, was the man who twice now built this plan for a gambling match. Originally, he'd been an arms dealer, but 10 years before, when he started dealing with the Eastern Quarter, he had expanded his business smuggling drugs, and became a villain on the rise, the best of the new class. Conversely, Juan was a villain whose roots ran deep in this region, back to even before the Eastern Quarter. He was the kind of man who ruled from the top, commanding gangs of thugs, pugs, and the like. Over the last 10 years in the Eastern Quarter, Enrique and Juan had been in the middle of a territory dispute. It was a fight of new versus old. Neither side had yielded a edge, and every drop of blood was washed away with more blood in their fights. That's not how washing works. It was at the height of that situation 7 years ago that Enrique had suggested a duel with gambling as the theme, a one-on-one, full cheating match between the best of gamblers. On that match, they would both wager their territory in the Eastern Quarter. He had brought the suggestion to Juan as a way to reduce the amount of profitless bloodshed, at least a bit. At first, Juan had been against it, but the endless fighting was taking a toll on his own organization. Even so, Juan was an old-fashioned man and not the type to easily jump to new ideas. Enrique next brought up the idea to Chief Minister Shamrock, and the advisor to the underworld permitted the match. As Chief Minister, Shamrock was also advisor to Juan's group. With him having granted permission, Juan could hardly refuse the match.
Chapter 8. Haley. The clock chimed the 11th hour. The match between Jack and Haley was to start at midnight exactly. She waited at the interim in Enrique's room. Your father became ill and died 7 years ago. That's what the girl had heard from her mother, but 3 years ago, she learned her father had died in a death card game match for some fucking reason. Haley didn't have many memories of her father. She spent her childhood with her mother. That was exactly why, though. Each and every one was engraved into her heart as irreplaceable treasures. The things she remembered best were the sights in the gambling dens. She didn't often get to go along, but to her, the way her father could silence even the most finely dressed gentleman with his near magical card handling was something she admired with all her heart. The last memory Haley had was of him taking her hand while she was in bed and telling her not to worry because he was going to die in a stupid death card game match. Maybe the memory was what kept her from believing what her mother had said about how her father died. After all, how could the strong, healthy man from that memory drop dead of illness so suddenly? One fateful moment, out shopping for her mother, she found herself heading on a whim to one of the gambling dens in the back street. There, overhearing some chatter from a few thugs, she came to understand the truth of her father's death. After all, to the types who frequent gambling dens, the match from 7 years ago was too famous not to talk about. Having learned the truth, she found herself consumed by one single emotion: the desire for revenge on Jack. Swearing she would become as good as her father, Haley began frequenting the gambling dens and played with that one burning wish guiding her hand. It was Enrique who, hearing the rumors, spoke to Haley first. 7 years before, betting on Jack, he'd claimed victory in the conflict with Juan, and now he saw a chance to do the same again by setting King's daughter against Jack. And so, he brought the idea of recreating the match to her. To Haley, it was the perfect means to it. Cutting off connection with her mother, she joined Enrique's group. Being blessed with talent to begin with, and having abandoned all else to focus on improving, she reached King's level in barely 3 years. Haley's eyes were distant as she waited quietly for the match. Perhaps those 3 years were running through them. Still seated, she bowed her head and let out a big, long sigh. "No need to let the weight of this drag you down, you know," Enrique said softly to her. "Don't worry," she replied. "Now that I'm here, my heart is as light as a feather." Her face betrayed the lie in her words as a flicker of sorrow creased her features. But it was only for a moment. The next, she was back to the same poker face. Right now, the only thing on my mind is seeing Jack lose. Hearing Haley's words, Enrique's lips twisted up. Perhaps it was confidence in his victory that warped his face.
Chapter 9. Nostalgia. The Silent Killer. Well,
Man, I
Hale
missed
sat and called...
Sorry.
Yeah, go.
Man, I missed Darkwing Duck.
Remember nothing.
While Hale sat and contemplated her past, Jack was hunched at the bar counter in the main hall. It was a spot with a full view of the setting for the match to come through all the empty bottles of beer. A lot of beer. He stared at the stage, never once even touching the drink he'd ordered, except for the previous 49. The same seats, the same colors. The more he looked at it, the more it felt as if the events of the 7 years ago had happened only yesterday. Literally, they hadn't even dusted. A voice started Jack from his reverie. I think that's supposed to be startled. "How about a drink on me, then?" Without turning, he wordlessly shook his head. Jack didn't need to look through 7-year-old memories to know that voice all too well. It was Juan. 7 years ago, Juan had bet on King's victory and lost. The one who had punished King with his death was, without a doubt, this man. "Jack, your skills took down even King. I'm looking forward to seeing them again." And with that, Juan disappeared. "Jack taking down King, huh?" Jack's lips twisted into a bitter smile. The clock ticked steadily away. It was 11:50. The match would begin in 10 minutes.
The book forwarder's going a little overboard with the spaces between paragraphs.
Yes, it is. And, well, this is better at least. The guests had begun to gather in the hall. Every one of them seemed to have been waiting eagerly for this night. Many had money riding on the outcome. Compared to Enrique or Juan's contest, though, they barely had anything to lose. Hale followed Enrique out into the hall. Taking her seat immediately, she sat quietly, eyes straight ahead. If she was bothered by the crowd or the enormity of the event, she gave no sign. after watching Hale take her place. Jack slowly rose from his spot at the bar. Unlike Hale, Jack had a bit of a name, and as he stepped forward, the crowd called out. It brought back more memories of himself from 7 years ago, excited by the crowd and elated by the game. Jack and Hale were both seated now. The card table in the center of the hall lay between them. The two faced each other, and yet their gazes never met even once. In total silence, time passed. Shortly after the two took their seats, a black-garbed man sat in a chair across from them both. Just like 7 years ago, he was the dealer provided by Chief Minister Shamrock. The dealer pressed a switch below the card table. Slowly, the table area sank into the Shadow Realm, allowing the guests in the hall a bird's eye view of the duel. From behind their respective back players, Juan's group and Enrique's group cast intense gazes at the gambler's hands. Further back, behind it all, watching over everything, was Chief Minister Shamrock. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have a revenge match, Enrique yelled, unable to contain his excitement. It had been 7 years since they had had such a high-stakes game. The crowd answered Enrique's introduction with a roar of approval.
Now remember, the people in the first 5 rows are in the splash zone, and those death seals get messy. Chapter 10, The Match. Separated by the small card table, the two faced off. Each player had a mountain of chips to wager. Once someone's pile was reduced to nothing, the match would be over. The clock struck midnight. In the silence following the chime, the grand match between Jack and Haley began. At first, the match was totally even. For every hand Jack won, Haley won another. Whenever Haley won a hand, Jack had the next. Neither gave a reg. The ones most surprised by this close contest were Juan and his crew. Everyone who had bet on Jack started to jeer and hoot. During the match, time and again, Haley spoke to Jack. Using conversation to distract your opponent was all part of the game, but Haley's persistence went beyond just tactics. However, Jack never said a single word back to her. 30 minutes passed. Breaking the silence, Jack suddenly spoke. Once upon a time, there was a man. In a voice so soft the crowd could barely hear, he continued. This man had something he admired. He wanted to become the thing he admired, and he wanted to win against the object of his admiration. And through it all, he was drawn closer to that which he admired. Both laid down their hands. Jack had 1 pair, Haley had 2. Chips moved from Jack's mountain to Haley's. What is it, Jack? This all part of your plan? Haley would occasionally add a sarcastic remark, but Jack just kept on telling the story. The man stole some tricks from that which he admired, and practiced his own skills as best he could. In the end, his efforts eventually made him strong enough that people called him Victory, which is a weird nickname to get, but sure. At some point, there was someone who took notice of that reputation. He thought, why not pit the best against each other? There's no show that could be better. Enrique's ears twitched. Something in what Jack was saying bothered him. The man gladly accepted the offer for the show. It was the match of a lifetime with that which he admired most, after all. The man's heart danced with excitement. Back then, that man was a young fool who didn't see the world around him for what it was. Certainly, he'd never thought about what it would really mean to lose that match. Haley listened but made no reply. At some point, she'd started to pay attention to Jack's story. The audience was just the same. Everyone in the hall strained to hear the tale tumbling softly from Jack's lips. The two played their cards. Jack had no pair. Haley had a full house. Chips moved from Jack's mountain to Haley's.
Chapter 11. The decisive moment. Jack, Haley chatted. You're so busy talking you've forgotten to play the game. Enough. Let's settle things here now. Haley's words reignited the crowd. The silent hall burst into excited chatter as she pushed forward every last chip in her pile. Perhaps she was just that confident, but Haley already had a significant lead on Jack. He couldn't possibly accept her bet. Could he? To match my bet, since you seem a little short, how about you wager your life? Haley reached under the table and unholstered her orbital gun. She set it and a bullet on the table by her chips. If I win, say goodbye to that life here and now. Jack leaned back in his chair and whistled. Now how can I accept such a stupid bet? But Jack's word betrayed the expectations of the audience, expectations he didn't mean to follow. All right, that bet, I'll call it. One way or another, when I lose, I'm dead. Again, the audience exploded in excitement. Enrique looked overjoyed. Juan sat quietly without comment. Neither side changed out a single card. Both hid their cards. So what happened to the man? Haley asked, seemingly smug with victory. Or perhaps she was just asking to hear Jack's final words. The man never won against the one that he admired. Silence followed the wake of his words. In that one moment, Haley's unfailing mask shattered to pieces. Her true expression, shown at last, was full of rage that even Enrique had never seen. What are you saying? You won, didn't you? Here in this very hall? Tears flooded Haley's eyes. And in doing so, you made a fool of my papa. Jack leaned forward, his eyes locked on hers. No, your father never lost, not to me. He never felt even a second of misery or frustration. Your father, King, to protect what mattered to him, he chose to lose the match himself. King's pride had never been touched. Enrique panicked when he heard this. He sent his thugs forward to silence Jack, but with a snap of his fingers, one sent his own men to stop Enrique from interfering and asked Jack to explain his words. The crowd was in an uproar. At a sign from Chief Minister Shamrock, the dealer flipped both players' cards. Jack had 4 kings, Haley 4 jacks. It was a total upset victory for Jack. The crowd's calls died down until silence was once again absolute in the hall. See? Jack muttered. Jack can't beat King.
Weirdly, nobody commented on the fact that Haley's off card was a king. They continue to be bad at this cheating thing.
Chapter 12. The Truth. The charged battle had closed with Jack's dramatic upset of a victory. Putting aside Jack's words for the moment, Juan took a moment to appreciate the relief he felt from Jack's win. Conversely, Enrique sat stunned, head in his hands. Hale stared blankly at the cards. Her eyes were wide, disbelieving. No way. How did you... 4 kings? That should be my hand. Hearing this, Enrique began to object violently. Jack had cheated, he insisted. The match was a wash. No, that Jack had lost for breaking the rules in the game where we're supposed to cheat on purpose. Anyways,
Yep.
Give it up, Don Enrique, Juan said. If you think so, then how about you show us, huh? Show us exactly what it is Jack did. Juan stood resolutely, arms crossed. Cheating's fine as long as you're not caught, he recited. It was the core rule of the match, and Enrique knew it. There was nothing he could say back that could lay bare the trick. He started to pick over every single thing that Jack had done. Impossible, Jack denied it all with a single word. This is a technique that King used 7 years ago now. I didn't know it at the time, so there's no way Mr. Enrique could. Jack's gaze moved to Hale. To make me win and keep you safe, Hale, King used this very trick. Truly a trick worthy of a king.
Mafia bosses hate him.
Head bowed, he continued. I never understood. If he had a great trick like this up his sleeve, then what on earth would make King do something dumb like throw away a match? I hated King for that, you know? Hell, I've spent 7 years consoling myself by drowning in booze. Even now, he then downed an entire bottle of beer.
Remember when I said I hadn't drunk in the last day? I lied.
This bottle of absinthe was full when I got it. Where did it all go?
Jack is so good at bluffing that he's even bluffing the story table. Tell her. Jack looked up, eyes bright. But yesterday I finally understood. That invitation of yours, Hale? The moment I saw Mr. Enrique's name on it, everything connected in my head. It was a day 7 years ago, right around here. Hale, here, King's daughter, she was in bed struck with an unknown disease. Jack's words had Hale like a fish on a hook. So what if I was? That isn't any kind of answer at all. Jack continued on, ignoring her. And around 7 years ago, around then, I'd heard a certain rumor about Mr. Enrique. Word was he'd gotten his hands on some kind of special poison. It was something like that, anyway. Perhaps some other people had heard this rumor too, for a wave of whispers ran through the crowd. Enrique just stared at the ground, biting his lip, cursing the fact that absolutely none of his men could keep a single fucking secret. Hale suffered for an unknown disease. We got one page.
Yeah, sorry.
The rumors were Mr. Enrique at the time. And lastly, King and the way he chose to lose to me on purpose. The only thing that links these three together is one simple truth. Juan leapt to his feet, fury writ all over his features. He began screaming at Enrique, "You! 7 years ago you poisoned this girl, and then you threatened King with it."
Yes, I cheated!
cheated!
I cheated in the cheating match! Ah, cue surprise!
Oh yeah, you're gonna call me out for cheating. We're having a death game with proxies. Oh no.
Did you or did you not stuff this place with death ocelots? Yes, I did, but that's an entirely separate point. That was an officially sanctioned part of the match. The death ocelots are pivotal to it. Chapter 13, The Sense. You put your poison into this girl and then threatened King, didn't you? Every word from Juan's mouth made Haley stiffen like she'd been punched. Shocked voices rippled through the audience. Before Juan's demands, Enrique desperately tried to put a defense together. He also tried to conceal his shaking, but the certainty of his guilt was too obvious. Under the suspicious eyes of his fellow criminals, the way he tried to make excuses was somehow ironic. Everyone began to believe what Jack was saying. Of course, there was no proof anywhere that Enrique had poisoned Haley 7 years ago, but Enrique's claims didn't make any sense to them. Conversely, Jack's made far too much. In the underworld, betrayal was a constant companion. Perhaps it's precisely why, though, in this world sense, rational and logicality in events was so important. As long as you played by that rule, proof didn't mean a thing. What? It was clear that Enrique would be punished somehow.
As long as enough people believe it's true, it's true.
As this fact finally dawned on him, he ceased his protestations. Haley merely stood, utterly still. She was rocked by so much emotion of so many kinds that it rooted her to the floor. My father never lost, she whispered. The truth was a comforting balm to her heart, but at the same time filled her with a deep sense of loss. Her father had chosen death himself. The very thought of it was far too big, and far too sad. The flames of revenge that had fueled her actions suddenly and utterly went out. As her once burning drive died, soon all that remained was thin smoke and cold white ash where her anger had been. That means that for me papa. The flame must took her vocabulary with her. Falling to the floor, Hale curled up in a ball and began to cry like a child. Glancing at Haley from the corner of his eye, Juan put a hand on Jack's shoulder and patted him in a congratulatory way. Tonight's been better than I could have possibly imagined. I'll do anything you ask if it's in my power, he whispered to Jack. Then give me Haley, Jack said without a moment's hesitation. Juan was hard-pressed to answer. No matter how pitiable he found Haley, she was still a pawn of Enrique's. Even if there were punishments... Even if there were to be punishments meted out for the events of 7 years ago, her freedom was very much in question. Give Jack what he wants. Will it really be such a problem? The voice from behind both of them froze every single person in the hall. All eyes turned to a single point. The one who drew their gaze was the bearded consultant to the underworld, Chief Minister Shamrock. Giving you the girl isn't a problem, right, Enrique? Enrique nodded weakly. At last, the ship was filled with cheers and celebration.
Congratulations, you won a death game. Have this human being as your reward. Final chapter. To each their own wish. Jack and Haley returned to the harbor at dawn. As if it had been an illusion all along, the enormous ship disappeared into the morning fog. What will you do with me then? Haley asks. Apparently you own this person now. Nothing. You're free. Jack said, I doubt anyone will ever try and use your life in any of their deals ever again. Do whatever you wish. Haley was quiet a moment and then said, Hey, Jack, Why did you do all this for me? There was a glint of white teeth. Jack smiled slightly. King put his life on the line to keep you safe. At the same time, King also saved my life as well. My life was given to me by King. Don't you think it's only natural that I would use a life like that to make King's wish come true? Papa's wish? King's smile disappeared. I'm sure King regretted it 7 years ago. Regretted that he ever set foot into such a world of darkness. Bottomless darkness. And then he never put you, his daughter, in such danger. You at the very least, should never have gotten wrapped up in this world. I'm sure that was King's wish. Haley didn't know what to say. Jack continued. If you get it, don't you ever come back to this world. And with that, Jack strode away and left Haley standing there by the sea. The Calvard Republic. The city in this country, a place where migrants from the east dreaming of their homeland, have recreated their old towns right down to bright lacquered tiles. On the north outskirts of that town was a little rundown bar. Over a week had passed since that fateful game. Jack could still be found there, in that same old dingy bar. As always, he was at his liquor starting from noon. He had settled things in the past, but he hadn't changed from how he was before it all. No, he has changed. He drank less, and when he drank, he only does like 2 games of Everett 40 hands a day now as opposed to 3. And when he drank, he didn't throw it back like a man dying of thirst, but slipped slowly, enjoying it. And that day, once more, the door to the place opened with a sound like a shriek.
Jack, my name is Cody, and you got my dad killed in a game of Shark Death Baccarat.
Ah, shit. A new customer stepped into the same old bar, and that new customer was Haley. Jack choked on his whiskey. Haley, what are you doing here? This ain't the kind of place you should be in. Ignoring his sputtering, she pulled up a stool and smiled brilliantly at him. Hey, Jack, she said, let's play a game, a real shocker of a match. But this time, all bets are off.
And that was Gambler Jack. And let me check something real quick. We still don't have the Gambler achievement.
That's because you also have to do other gambling for the Gambler achievement.
Well, we did other gambling. Remember, we did the gambling back when we first got access to the gambling hall?
If we want the Gambler achievement, you also need to get a 4 of a kind in poker.
Well, that ain't happening.
Which really just means you have to play poker a ton until you happen to get a 4 of a kind.
Yes.
Yeah. Because,
Alright,
unlike in Gambler Jack, we can't cheat.
so heading to Grand Cell. Now that we're done with reading that.
Yep.
We do also have the newspapers, but the newspapers are literally just recaps of events that happened.
Yep.
Events in the first game or events in the second game?
This game.
Okay.
Yeah, the world news basically goes over like things that are happening in the area as you're going through the game.
Yeah, like this is the mayoral. The
Talking
mayoral
about the
race
ghost
and the
sightings.
ghosts and things like that. The special is just there's a dragon.
Holy shit, a dragon! Check our BP total real quick. Make sure we're at 372.
We're at 372.
Okay.
It's a good thing we taught her bullets not to
Savor
kill
the
anyone
victory.
except for monsters.
We're good to go.
Punch.
That's that. Let's move out.
A bridge. I like how every other checkpoint is this big, like, place with a inn in it, and nice little, cafe to eat at, and that's just literally like, oh, well, there's 2 walls and a bridge. Go nuts.
Get out.
Welcome to Roland. Fuck off. Death Rhino.
A death ray.
Thanks, Tina. You're welcome.
Zen just being like, doesn't they always do to you? Yes.
That's that. Let's move out.
Bees.
We did it.
Why do these bees have dumplings?
Why don't they have dumplings?
Uh-oh. An airship engine. There shouldn't be airship engines right now. First, we gotta fight these bees.
Yes, that's very important. The bees.
Look, what if we're gone fighting Ouroboros and somebody gets stung to death by hyper wasps?
All right. We
Very dangerous.
Blue Blanc, you could do better. I'm sure there's another organization out there that isn't as cartoonishly evil and utterly lacking in any kind of originality.
I would love if the scene was just like, haha, we're just gonna beat a bunch of those guns don't work. And they're like, oh, those are black powder rifles. Well, fuck me.
I guess these attacks have to be intimidating to someone. One guy's still standing.
I kind of have to do like the whole battle sound and do their whole like special attacks, just so we can see them styling on guards with inoperable guns.
Oh no, they're all confused. This in addition to being dead.
Ready or not, here I come! Got you!
A Final Fantasy.
Shh! Don't want to get sued.
I'll bring you a fitting end. Die beautifully!
Did you have to blow it up afterwards? Ambiance!
Yes, I had to. Beautiful explosion.
Oh, so it's like a good 30 minutes to clean out.
Yeah.
They don't even have a tank. If they did, they already showed we can punch and cut his tank to death.
Exactly.
Oh, they arranged them into neat little rows.
Well, they were marching through the air. They didn't want to step on anyone. Quickly, Cheetah, shoot them with a healing bullet.
Bang! Oh, that was the wrong bullet! I'm so sorry. Okay, here's the right one. Bang! Oh no, that wasn't.
He locked me in a casket, then shoved a sword in it, and then exploded. I'm not sure how I'm alive either. Oh no, he's been knocked unconscious.
We have lit 3 trees on fire, and the popcorn stand, and the ice cream stand. Victory! Such indiscriminate destruction.
I disagree. This is very discriminate destruction. They specifically left a lot of things alone.
The crepe man is not offering me crepes on credit. Destroy him!
Final cannon. Found the healing bullet.
Do you have the unblind bullet?
No.
Well, this is gonna be sad.
It's fine. I have an omelet that's so delicious it makes people able to see again. Oh no. My child organs.
Go for it.
Ah, that was the non-blind bullet. Fantastic. Wrong way. Aw.
Oh, Tita committed suicide.
A single Zerum powder. Alright. Now that we have a cooking fire, that is the city. There we go. Back to normal.
Okay, so do that fight. Want to head to the Bracers Guild.
Alright. Dead soldier.
And we'll go to the very top floor. Should be southeast corner of the room, standing next to a vase of pink flowers.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, trust me, it's not that great of a novel.
No.
Hand over the books. Zemirian ore.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
That will eventually be used to make the ultimate weapon.
Yes. And as I recall, we hold on to this for a while to get a second one later.
Correct.
If we
Yeah,
have
hold on to it to
possession.
get a second one later.
I know this is a bad time, but can we report on some stuff?
Before. I just need to head to the castle.
'Cause even just these basic rando fights are going to give her a lot of XP.
We did it!
They messed with the wrong guy.
Robots!
Savor the victory. We earned it.
I take it you're keeping tabs on them? Yeah, they're just... Oh man, our soldiers are not doing well against them. Are they at least putting up a valiant fight? No, they're just kind of standing there and just letting them wail on him. I mean, the kid is literally just shooting with a gun.
Piece of cake.
Is the gun at least aesthetically pleasing? Unknown.
No, it's a gun.
Damn it, man! Give me something! At least I shall have my fight with my rival Olivier. He's not with them. What? Oh, come the fuck on.
Piece of cake.
The enforcers are here. See, I think they realized that for the tower fights, like, all the tower fights were kind of sad and pathetic. So they have to give
Yeah.
them this time to show off and do all their fancy, like, you know, I'm the super member of
Oh, a
Ouroboros.
second floor.
Okay, we have till they get to the through the 57th door.
To think they'd breach through all 117 doors. No one believed me when I said we needed 120.
Okay, so we need to time our entrance till just after they kill Duke Shitlord. Former captain of the Royal Guard. Ah, you fell
Yeah.
far.
Oh no, the trees. They are very slowly burning.
3. The number of the doors was 3. Walter the Dire Wolf. Bork, bork. I'm sorry, I can't take these fuckers seriously. They're breaking down doors, they're killing a bunch of mook soldiers, but as we've established, our army is kind of fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Our army is kind of terrible, and every time we fight them, the boss fights are incredibly easy and generic. Helicopters.
Yep.
Oh, they've got robots behind us.
Ha!
Where are these idiots in the back first? What arts do you have? You've got a decent spread of arts, actually.
Right, she can use her.
Yep, she's the only person who can right now.
Mhm.
We should move.
Yep.
Actually.
Ah, move and attack. Also out.
I mean, Apache attack helicopter is a serious business.
Yep.
We're good to go.
Ah, line attack.
Yep. Oh, you fool. You've moved into a close geographic area with another person. But he's too low on CP to do it.
Yeah. He did just die, so. So close.
Good too.
Yeah, he almost had 3.
Finished.
The hurricanes!
make sure they're not in that area. Thankfully, it's only those two, anyways.
Yeah. You should be able to do AT to land them.
Yeah.
It says you should be able to AT to land them, but I guess it doesn't stop it.
No, AT delays. Impede
Yeah.
is the thing that actually stops
That's right.
it. But... Uh-oh.
Estelle's current combat method of running out of AoEs to hit things with sticks.
Yep.
Yep. Because it's the only way we can move and attack at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It all helps if they decide to group on top of each other, so... Take that, nothing.
Almost dead.
Yep.
Indeed.
Knew that was gonna happen. They just can't resist in this game.
Vaguely robotic, of course it explodes.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Let's do it! Let's do it!
And
Kill that robot.
They messed with the wrong guy.
there we go. And Teetler. Okay, hold up. Hold the fucking phone. Hold the fucking phone.
What, you didn't know about the orbital satellite we put in orbit?
No, I didn't realize that she had access to satellite weapon Rotom.
Its creator is a genius.
Genius. Control it, please.
Yes.
It is now level 74 from that. Okay. Duke's dead. So they killed everybody else, but they just left him unconscious?
I presume they're just hitting people once they stay down. They don't, like, they're not stabbing the bodies or double tapping the chest to make sure they're dead.
He was quite an expert, we just didn't have the budget to show it. Ah. Also, you notice who's missing from defending the castle? You notice who's not here? Savior of the kingdom, Cassius Bright? Why isn't Cassius Bright here? Yes, because he's the leader of Ouroboros. I know it. I got a whole conspiracy board like Pepe Sylvia. Alright. Up the stairs. Down this way. Nothing we need to collect in the castle itself, right?
No, you're face burner. That's on brand for the professor. Yes, give me back my healer. Okay, you can have her back, but sir, solve this series of riddles. She's right there, I can see her. Is she, though?
We look again, it's really just a wood block and a
Look,
dress.
I will absolutely take you all on right now. Joshua only has 1,000 HP right now, and I'm fairly certain I can still murk all of you. This game is not good about backing up your threat levels.
No, it really isn't.
Shit, she's not falling for the bluff. What are we gonna do? I don't want to get my head beaten in again with the stick. Damn Cassius Bright, our boss and benefactor, for training his child too well. And the clouds come in, and dark storms gather, and a lightning bolt hits him for his insolence. Daring to speak out against the God King.
God King!
See, he has to be here to make it look believable. I'm not letting this go. Oh, wait, no, it's Sid. Okay, cool.
Oh, Sid.
It's Sid, it's not you. My theory still holds. We can't have fallen for it twice in one combat sequence, could we? Oh Oh no! Twice in one combat thrice in one combat sequence! The dreaded triple fake out! And Blue Blanc just flying like an asshole. Estelle! Group of better than average. Oh, my scar! She's thinking about me!
Oh, the fox face bitch.
Yep.
Apparently her redemption arc. Now that her senpai is on our side.
Go! Other cannon fodder! Beat this cannon fodder!
I just got a shit ton of grenades! Oh, that Larry and a shit ton of grenades.
Yeah, any attempts at making this look like a serious scene are completely defeated by doing this image.
Well, it's also defeated by, like, Ouroboros tried very hard to make... the whole story has made them into these, like, cunning, invincible soldiers, and that only, you know, Joshua and other people in the know could solve things. So seeing them just get wrecked up and down the street is catharsis.
Yeah.
Impressive. No, that's impressive. I just said that. Are we still desirous of violence? That's a hell of a sentence there.
That's a word you could use in that sentence.
Suddenly I don't have an overwhelming advantage. I don't feel like fighting anymore. You shit.
No, we're not calling you a giant robot. This gets dull really fast every time you do. Next trial, you just made that up on the spot. I am not buying your bullshit.
Also, that's not a sound effect, that's just literally Blue Blanc going whoosh 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 whoosh. I will admit, I didn't expect this to go this well. I expected them to get the queen, and then we get the princess back through Blue Blanc's weird, perverted brand of chivalry. Tend to the wounded and firefighting nothing, unless firefighting is your code for we're gonna do all the work.
Yes.
Okay.
A rank bracer.
Received Aura Guard.
382.
And we got the achievement League of Extraordinary Bracers.
Yeah. I assume that's actually all of the bracer points.
Yep, that's the achievement for getting all of the bracer points. The Crown Princess. This is a tiara more than a crown, but you get the idea. It was either that or let Duke Dunnan take the throne. That wasn't an option.
Ugh.
We weren't gonna put a Duke on the throne. No, we're pretty much grizzled veterans.
Yeah. I mean, you literally defeated the military in the last game.
It's a subset of the military.
Still a military
It's
unit.
a special ops unit.
Well, fuck.
That's fine. We have punch and slash tanks today.
What we have. You have any idea how long it's going to take us to go through that many boss battles?
Haha, steam tanks. What now, Orbital bitches?
Well, yes, that's a great argument to make if you had working orbital tanks.
So wait up, they have gasoline engine technology that decide to use steam tanks anyways.
Well, we knew we'd get. Yes. Gasoline engine technology does exist. We have literally carried one in our pocket.
I will throw my bird at them. Look, if Agate's sword worked. Oh, there's a bird inside the tank! Ah! The last we heard from the tank was scree, scree, oh god, it knows how to drive. And then the tank just started shooting its own soldiers. And then they just went to Hawken Gate. Thank you for not making us run to Hawken Gate, by the way. Thank you.
Much appreciated.
I brought these tanks so we could shoot Ouroboros. Oh. Oh, well, we might have misread the situation then. Alright, wardrobe upgrade.
Yep.
We are the royal bodyguards because you blow at your job. Can't deny that. God damn it. This tense situation is the exact proper time I need to start doing my job that I've repeatedly said I'm inexperienced at.
Sometimes just gotta do it.
Yep. I have more faith that she'll be able to broker a ceasefire than Morgan will. Zex Vander! Zex Vander! That's one-eyed Zex! Get on the scene, like a Zex machine.
Now, see, we have these large turbine engines, and we made a dam, and we just power our city with electricity now. Orbits kind of suck.
Well, They're a decent power source, except when they, get completely shut off.
He can't be. Ah, but he is. I had this spoiled so long ago, but it's still great to see.
I'm gonna go hit him with a stick.
Wait, we have that power?
Apparently.
I declare neutrality! Fuck you, I have an airship!
Wait, how'd you get that thing working?
Shut up, don't ask questions.
No, Cassius explicitly had asked for the Zero Field generators to be built before this crisis started. which is part of my thinking that, or my reason for thinking that he's a member of Ouroboros, because they knew they were going to do this. But the professor explicitly said that he was commissioned by Cassius Bright to build... I love that. Cassius Bright, you're pulling this bullshit now! Why do we even try when you can just pull cockamamie horse shit like this?
Oh, my sweet ass ride.
How very curious, isn't it, though? Oh, good, we get Olivier back.
No, that's someone totally different. See, this is Olivia Art.
Yep. I was already quite a man.
I learned that from the book called Gambler Jack.
Also, the Death Ocelots. I did prepare a lot of Death Ocelots. Are they big ocelots? No, they are regular-sized ocelots. We have merely shocked them with a cattle prod a few times to make them quite irritable. Oh, if it isn't Dad, the villainous leader of Ouroboros. Look at him! He's got red eyes and a villain smirk! Time to go, time to go, time to go,
Time to go.
To the flying city and fight the Oriole. Liberal choir, everyone. Estelle. Look, there she goes. No, she's an A-rank bracer. Ouroboros headquarters. Did I say that out loud? Shit. Memory wipe. Bam. Ow, I feel like I got hit in the head with a pipe. Memory wipe. Why did you say memory wipe? Oh shit, second memory wipe. Bam.
Bam! I feel concussed. That's normal.
Yeah, all these earth-shattering revelations, huh? Just mess with your head. Like a pipe to the head. Why is the pipe you're holding bloody? Memory wipe!
Try not to issue more than 2 or 3 memory wipes to a single person in a day.
Should they be sleeping after getting a memory wipe? No, they should not.
Only if it plans to sleep forever.
Spending time at home, in the castle, when I've taken over as the leader of this country.
But honestly, I think that's the last job Cassius Prime wants. He's military leader only because he couldn't trust anyone else.
Oh, better idea. He's not a member of Ouroboros. He's a member of a countergroup to Ouroboros, who's just as villainous, but working at odds with them, named Fenrir. Or Jorgamander.
Well, Jorgamander would be more appropriate.
The Trail in the Sky. Alright, chapter 8. Done.
Yay!
Save.
On to the final chapter. Or so. I'm not actually sure.
Fairly certain this is the final
On to
chapter?
the final chapter.
Okay. Put up the stupid fin thing so we can fly slightly faster.
Oh, he's been shooting out in random directions with the orbital guns on our ship ever since we got them. Oh yeah, we're dead. Dead as dicks. Alright. Dance music. We're obviously gonna get out and challenge them to a dance fight. Now, this is some Skies of Arcadia shit right here.
Yep. Aha, we get a better
We have a
pilot
bigger
check.
gun. Also, our aim sucks.
Did we forget to train our pilots? Yes, you just assumed they were superior than them because they're Ouroboros members. Damn, we keep doing that. Here comes the glorious. Full cutscene.
Our ship is bigger. And those cool sounds. Admittedly, it's cool they animated this.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good, like, Corvette versus Cruiser.
The usual way of animating things, which is using normal in-game models and having them smack against each other like action figures.
Yep.
Yes. Right, so how are we supposed to take this ship down? Well, obviously we're going to ram into it and then just charge inside. I hope they have a better plan than that.
The floating island. Master Emerald is here. Welcome to Geometric Park.
Okay, that's neat, but this will be annoying to run through.
I'm hoping they're just doing this for ambiance and they're just going to drop us close to where we need to go.
Nope, you have to run through the entire place. Remember how you kept saying that cities don't look like actual cities? We decided to fix that now.
Jesus.
There's actually no enemies in here, but you still have to spend 20 minutes in-game actual time running through the city. Just to get where you need to go.
Wait, hold up. How was her orbal camera working during all this?
That's a good question.
My assumption is that the entire ship puts out a.
No, but she was taking
No,
pictures
like
before
with-
during the liberation of Grand Cell.
Yeah.
And she was
is
taking
it an orbital
pictures.
cameras or an actual film camera?
It's an orbal camera. She's explicitly said that before.
Yeah.
She puts off his.
Oh, where the fuck did you get Kawagamon from? Stop trying to distract me from the camera question. What's this Digimon bullshit you pulled out at the last minute?
Oh no, we're being attacked by someone with a mild degree of competence. So what happens if either one of our engines gets destroyed and we lose stability?
Does
Well,
the
we're
ship need
proper
two
fucked.
engines? I think it does.
That's the flaw in their design. Well, good thing we have this convenient giant city thing to
I,
crash
mean,
into.
I wouldn't really say it's a flaw in the design, considering, most planes don't do great if their engines get knocked off mid-flight by flying robots.
No, well, engines don't do great, but they can at least glide to the ground, hypothetically, if one of the engines goes out.
Depends.
yeah,
Like a jet's
I mean-
not going to glide to the ground; it's just going to fall.
I mean, granted, you take the engine, or you take the wing out, it's just kind of fucked anyways, but...
Yeah.
Are they all smashed to paste on the giant city? No, they all lived through that. Horseshit! My. What resilient cockroaches. I say as King Cockroach. You see, I've undergone DNA surgery to get the powers of a cockroach.
That seems like a bad idea.
It is, trust me. For our movie night last night, we watched Terraform Mars. The live-action Terraform Mars.
Ah.
You know, that was a thing.
Yeah, you brought it on yourselves.
I gotta stop listening to Bograt.
They would have learned by now.
Yeah.
No, okay, we almost went off the side.
Well, this should be repairable.
See, how did you keep up with us through all that? Scream! Oh, you have a little tiny jetpack.
Ah,
Do we need anybody
Actual party
specific
selection.
for story stuff?
Da, da, da. I don't think we need specific people until we start getting to boss fights.
is any of those specific people Olivier? Because there's going to be a giant.
Yeah. Well, definitely we're gonna need him for the Blue Blanc fight, because it sounds like we're taking all of the counterparts into their fights with their Ouroboros members. So Blue Blanc, Tita, Zin, and Scheherazade are all gonna have probably special interactions if we bring them into those boss fights.
Okay. It's a while before we need to bring specific people in.
Okay.
Together now.
Olivier is one of them.
You're right,
basically,
please.
for Blue Blanc, it's Chloe and Olivier. For Walter, it's Zen.
Yeah.
For what's her face, it's Scheherazade.
Yeah,
The Bewitching
makes
Bell.
Yeah.
For
Renee.
Renee, it's Tita. And then for Emo Swordman, it's Joshua.
The character we're taking anyways.
Yes.
Yeah.
Loed, the Blade Lord.
Blade Lord.
For Renee, it's also probably technically Estelle, but you know, we literally can't not have Estelle.
I mean, realistically, it's fine if you don't worry about leveling up someone like Olivier, who's so far behind the level curve, just because. I mean, we'll bring him into that fight. We'll basically just be in the fight 3-man, effectively.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
use him for, like, throwing healing items or something.
The way this game's leveling works, though, he might catch up decently fast anyways, so he'll be at least a little bit less of a burden. But yeah, I wouldn't put too much effort into it.
There is a food you can get here.
Ah.
Double long barrels, super range.
Chloe, congratulations. You get the Grail Locket back, which I realized while I was grinding today for some Septith that we actually had gotten back.
Mm. It's actually kind of neat that they changed her model for the last part of this game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Give her a more royal outfit.
Yeah. Since she is effectively no longer in disguise.
Yeah.
The shield is coming. I really should put a cast on her.
Oh, yeah.
And an action if you can fit someone somewhere, because I would ditch the shield, honestly.
I'll have to go buy another action, though, from the guys downstairs.
Bitter omelet.
Bitter omelet. That's 4,040 CP for all.
Yep.
Okay. All that. Quartz. Got an action for. Alright, you got Death Scream.
Scroll. Then we just get Death from his actual really good attack.
Yep. Okay. So soon we're gonna get the ability to buy Septith?
At some point you're supposed to get the ability by Septith.
Alright. Volcanic Rave. Diddle-diddle-diddle. Diddle-diddle-diddle. Ah, he also gets Orbital Down now.
Orbital down.
Save point there. Into the Magic City.
Yep.
Park block. Unfortunately, they blew all of their budget on the park.
Door's locked.
Or it's firmly locked.
Alright, over under that Adios is an AI that runs the city and we have to kill God.
No one uses a chainsaw, so probably not.
Oh, the Halo Ray.
Although with all the censoring that was going on, that might be the case.
Harmony between progress and nature.
And then some assholes crashed a ship into it.
Good job, assholes. Magical floating train. Oh, magical floating skybox.
Yep.
Aw.
Right, now go back to the thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was gonna say we got other stuff to do there. There's still two more options we didn't choose. Oh, Online shop.
Ah,
Let me just
Sapphire
buy
and Ruby.
Sapphire and Ruby gems.
okay then.
And you just unlock slots here too. Okay.
I believe as we progress through, it'll add more stuff to the online shop.
Yeah, that makes sense. Would you like to just open that cage? Sure.
Well,
This thing we inserted to make sure you talk to the damn console.
a dark lamp.
Take that!
Oh, I drank my blood.
Well, that takes care of that.
Bam! 9 levels. Gonna be like that, huh? Fine. Bam!
Nicely done.
Okay.
Gremlins. Don't feed them after midnight.
Take that!
Piece of cake.
Okay, head that door.
Nighty night, kitty cats.
Say monster chest.
Oh. You fools. I was holding back before, but now, get screamed. And guess what? She knows how to scream too.
Ah!
Summon all you like, it's not gonna help you.
Nicely done.
Oh. If you learned
Happy
Happy
Trigger
Trigger 2. 69 space crystal.
Nice.
Time crystals. Sorry.
Yeah, Dominion.
Even
Yay.
the Dread City
I
is
like
still
the first
capitalist.
character who's not here.
Yep.
Hey, rule.
Olivier is now level 69. I feel like it's a personal milestone for him.
I'm now going to equip XP0. Oh, you want the side one first?
Yeah, a silver gem.
Yes, the silver gem.
Ah, it's an EP5.
It is an EP5.
We'd have to go back and upgrade that slot again. So we can go on Chloe. Wait till the next time we're at the shop for that.
And then go right first.
And fight this thing. Once I'm done fighting the thing, I will go right.
Nighty night, kitty cats.
Go right. There you go.
I got a brain like a goldfish. What do you want?
I want you to listen to my orders.
That's that then. Let's move out.
Oh, no longer level 69.
Well, he's gone up fast.
Oh yeah, I figured like after a few fights he'd be back up to at least like the 70s.
Yeah. Oh my god, you let a place stay in an alternate dimension for a few hundred years, or 1,000 years, or indeterminate time. It just gets infected with a bunch of whatever the hell this is.
These are
Well, that takes care of that.
phenomenons, I think. Go all the way to the end first.
Oh, way in.
Yeah. Oh, dirty chest. Wants to flip its lid.
Flip me open, drip oil on my hinges. We lost our party for a second there on the stairs. Or in the
Stairs are-
stairs.
Stairs are difficult, don't ask questions.
Can't cut me off. I quit anytime I want to. I just don't
Yeah.
want to.
You're out of control.
Lost Mobius.
We rule.
I got excited.
Piece of cake.
That's a shitty bug thing these are.
Got the Onyx gem.
Yeah.
Your leg, it's caught in a treasure chest.
Correct. Blood oozing from your stomach leg.
Onyx gem is Action 5. Alright.
Yep.
That requires level 3. Open the bats.
Suck, Olivia.
I'm just rusty. Besides, we have Joshua here to do all the work.
We rule.
Oh, it's true.
Oh, it's like I never left.
We're good to go.
There should be 2 side rooms on the right.
That's... Oh no, they've hit the bat pipe. This pipe will transport all of our bats through.
Nighty night, kitty cats.
Oh no, some kind of wiggly toad.
Those are clearly.
Phenomenon.
No, those are phenomenon.
Yeah, the other things are dark
Hormone,
lamps
dark lamp,
and
Weather seeds.
weather seeds.
low seed. Yep. Those are names.
We've seen what I've seen before. They're in all the out dimension beast fights.
Ah, yeah.
Death screams!
That off. You like that, is it? Well, I say no, it's not going to be like that.
You can say no, but roll it up if you roll.
Doesn't matter if he only does 16 damage, it still impedes.
Finished.
True Black Fang.
There we go.
Done yet.
That seemed excessive.
That's fine. Requiem Hearts. Alright. That was an interesting fight. I lied. Let's keep going.
That's that then. Let's move.
We're good to go.
That's that.
How is the city gonna get its bats at this rate? The bat infrastructure of this town is just being destroyed by these adventurers.
This
Speaking of the city,
is not that far from where we started.
Rolling around at the speed of sound.
welcome to the residential block.
Because of some minor oversights with how the city was built, it turns out that the entirety of the civilization was homeless and actually slept in the park.
No rules. Do everything that's nailed down.
Yep. They're trying to translate this.
Yep. One second.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, if you're looking for a
Yeah,
translation for this, it doesn't exist.
I mean, that's
Eh.
you could just put it into Google Translate.
That's what I was trying to do, but Google Translate had a fatal error.
Well, that's because it's not actually real German.
Ah.
It's a Monty Python joke.
Ah,
Oh.
oh, is that the? Yeah,
It's the funniest joke in the world.
Yeah,
So there's a Monty Python sketch that's based about the funniest joke in the world. That is a joke that is so funny, anyone who reads it or hears it promptly dies of laughter.
Ah.
so of course they translated it into German and used it as a weapon during World War II.
Yes, and that is the text they used for it. But the German translation is basically made a bunch of nonsense German-sounding words. Hence, it looks German when you look at it, but it's not actually real words.
Ah, okay.
Resurrect Jelly.
I already got that, so. Chicken! Walk, walk! And a bone legger.
Well, that takes care of that.
Head to the west. Oh, west.
A Kamoshi.
That's that then. Let's move out.
Food.
Yep.
Oh, it's all the beast drop stuff.
Yes, it is all food.
Nice. Got Data Crystal Z.
Data Crystal Z. Okay, now go back to that first house. And use the computer in there.
Oh, right, because now we have a Data Crystal, so...
Yes, free crystals. That's your second Zimmerino.
Woo!
Like 2 ultimate weapons.
Yay.
Aha!
Go south first. Yeah, your chest. Zero damage did there, Olivier.
I'm contributing!
No, you're not.
I like to pretend that I am.
Fair.
Look, see, I shot something, and then later that thing died.
That takes care of that.
That's contributing.
Go when you go north, go up the left side past the house to the chest before you go in. Ah, secret hidden chest.
What?
Can't help you there.
Yeah.
Nighty night.
Why does your bed have a canopy door? Because we're never leaving. Ah, an upgrade to Citizen's Personal Gospels. Forced updates?
Uh-huh.
I'm helping.
Piece of cake.
There'll be a boss here in a second.
Be a boss?
Yeah.
Oh.
As you progress to the east, there's going to be a boss fight.
Oh. And she's dead.
Nope,
Nah.
with the boss fight, you have to keep her alive, Darren.
It's a good thing I saved before this.
So if she dies, you lose this fight. She also starts at low health.
In other words, heal her as fast as possible.
Yep.
And she did just get hit by a rocket.
I don't like that causes any real lasting damage.
I just want to scream.
The enemy does also take priority in attacking her. So just make sure to keep her topped up.
Any elemental weaknesses? No.
Nope.
I'm helping! I'm helping!
That was much as Olivia is, yeah.
Yep. I choose to believe that they're not under-leveled, but rather this is a scathing take on the use of guns in JRPGs.
Now, kick that loser Olivia out of our party.
Yeah, he's only in my party to get him up to...
Well, we have a new party member now.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Murg indeed.
That's indeed a sound.
You done goof.
Together now. Got it.
There's also unique dialogue for having her in your party during this section.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But it does come to the question of what can she actually do?
Join in with Estelle in this takedown of Joshua.
I assume she's not just an AI character that runs around, but someone you have full control of.
No, she's an actual character.
Yeah.
All right, civil unrest and disobedience. Got it. All right, what do you have, Giselle?
Yeah, 20% chance to petrify.
Yeah, not bad. Oh, there's the...
She already has good gear.
Yep. Yeah, still EP, fuck you. I'll rob your ship blind.
Something's robbing the ship. There's a Healy thing though.
Ah, good, they got a Healy thing on board.
Yeah, the only other thing to do in this area is the building here on your right.
Cafeteria. On the gold gem.
Gold gem.
Halo Rail is a groundbreaking transit method unique to the Liber Arc. Does it matter who gets the gospel?
You can pick whatever you want. It's not gonna work.
Ah.
Actually, let's try something.
Uh-huh.
Because technically, you're not supposed to be able to do this yet. I don't think. 'Cause you don't have the info for it.
All right.
So it should be Chloe, Celeste, D.
Problem
You
is
can't
this,
actually-
the thing disappears
The-
here. There we go.
Osleys. I guess that'll work.
Original gospel.
Now is a question of what that actually does.
Breaking all the flags. All right.
Here's the gospel now.
Assume
Also, Chloe has the will of D.
Yep. Wonder if that's gonna fuck up any flags going forward. So we're talking about the towers and stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've already been to the towers.
Well, yeah, I don't think we learned the information that they were talking about there.
It was on Data Crystal 0 on the towers.
Ah, okay. I'm helping!
Nicely done.
Go southwest. Now up here, you can turn on the Halo rail so you can link up to the previous one we unlocked.
Alright. Alright, you're gonna have to leave soon.
Yeah, you gotta
Okay.
head out now. I will talk to you guys later.
Alright,
Yep.
yeah. We're probably gonna
Fine.
wrap up here in a few minutes anyway, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a good one, Vince.
Later. See you later.
Yeah, basically we can go back to the ship from here
Nice.
and get the ultimate weapons made.
I'm gonna check out the online store real quick. Get release. Okay. Right, items. Boop.
Whee! Power goes out.
Ah! Yeah, that does bring up a point. Why are we not seeing more of these things cratered in the ground?
Why would they be cratered in the
I
ground?
mean, if this whole place like went to shit and everything disappeared. There's monsters running around everywhere.
Yeah, it's like weird void monsters being in the void for so long.
Yeah.
Time to talk to Professor Doodoo Head.
We're going to go through all the things that we didn't have to go back to the professor for.
I mean, it's a hard choice, except we're just going to make Estelle's and Joshua's.
Yep.
Phoenix Blades.
Is a pretty significant jump in power.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to get better weapons going through this area. But,
Oh, yeah. But we're literally
Oh.
using them for every fight, so...
yes, but they're being used for every fight. Also, weapons don't enhance, arcs, so
Yeah.
like, they're literally pointless on Clover whenever making her actually attack things.
Yeah.
If you check the Capel and Professor's Russell's lab.
We just doing
This
all
is where
these...
you be able to,
Huh?
and like, so if you analyze Crystal Zero, it gets rid of all the
okay.
stuff, and here's where you figure out the name.
Ah.
Also, you can read all these without the junk in front of them anymore.
Alright, we're probably going to do that next time and go over those.
Yep.
However, this is a good place to stop, because this finale is actually longer than I thought it was going to be.
Well, the cutscenes and everything leading up to it took quite a bit of time.
Yes. And
Like,
we read the whole
we didn't
Gambler
get
chapter.
started into this section until like 4 o'clock, so.
Yeah. Alright, well, thank y'all for joining us. We are getting real close to the end game, so if we don't finish next time, we might finish on a short session the time after. But
It depends on how long cutscenes take.
Yep. Anyway, join us tomorrow for Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc, our exploration of school mode, and talking about some of the side stuff that happens around the first Danganronpa, including the secret ending.
Yeah.
And then join us on Tuesday for our continued playthrough of Alan Wake. And of course, join us back here Saturday for more of this. Until then, I've been your host, the Krampus,
I've been Shiv.
and you heard the voice of Vince earlier.
Sure.
Anyway, have a good one, y'all.
Yeah, bye everyone.